August 7, 1944. 2:14 a.m. near Avranches, Normandy. The night hums with electricity. In a low farmhouse commandeered by German signals intelligence, a single bulb swings gently from the ceiling. Papers are spread across a scarred wooden table. Cigarette smoke hangs heavy, stale, mixed with the smell of damp uniforms and burned coffee. Outside, artillery mutters somewhere to the west distant, irregular, like a storm that refuses to pass. A radio operator stiffens. A new transmission cuts through the static. Fast, clipped, American. Oberstleutnant Friedrich von Gersdorf, operations officer attached to 7th Army, steps closer. He does not sit. He never sits when listening. His fingers drum once against the table, then stop. The code clerks begin to work. At first, it seems routine movement orders, supply references, grid coordinates. But then the tempo emerges. Not one order, not two, a cascade. Advance at first light. Advance through the night. Bypass resistance. Exploit immediately. No halt for resupply unless ordered. If fuel is found, take it. If fuel is not found, keep moving anyway. Gersdorf leans in, eyes narrowing. This is not how armies speak. Someone whispers a name. Patton. Outside, a truck backfires. Gersdorf doesn't flinch. He is reading now, eyes racing down the page as translations stack up. The Americans are not pausing, not consolidating, not waiting for infantry to secure the rear. They are flowing. Patton's Third Army, newly unleashed, after weeks of deception, has burst through Avranches like water through a shattered dam. And these orders, these are not cautious exploitation directives. They are something else entirely. Overlapping thrusts, columns leapfrogging each other, armor moving while supply follows, not the reverse. Gersdorf straightens slowly. You see this? He says quietly. The room falls silent. These orders were not written to win a battle, he continues. They were written to erase time. By dawn, more intercepts arrive. Different units, different frequencies, same pattern. Move. Move faster. Do not stop. The Americans are advancing day and night. When one division pauses, another passes through it. When roads clog, Patton reroutes on the fly. When bridges are destroyed, engineers are already forward sometimes before the problem is reported. This is not blitzkrieg. Blitzkrieg was violent, focused, and above all planned. It relied on pauses, on regrouping, on a rhythm the enemy could eventually read. This has no rhythm. At 7th Army Headquarters, General Paul Hausser receives the summary just after sunrise. He reads it once, then again, slower. Hausser is no amateur, former SS, veteran of the Eastern Front, survivor of encirclements and retreats. He has faced Soviet steamrollers and survived. But this feels wrong. Patton's columns are not punching holes. They are slipping past the front entirely. German units report Americans in their rear before contact at the front has even ended. Telephone lines are cut. Couriers disappear. Orders arrive too late or not at all. Hausser rubs his eyes. Where is their main effort? Someone asks. Hausser does not answer immediately, because the terrifying truth is becoming clear. There is no single main effort. Patton is attacking everywhere, all the time, with enough speed that German commanders cannot tell what matters and what doesn't until it's already behind them. Another intercept arrives. This one includes Patton's personal emphasis, relayed through Corps headquarters. Momentum is everything. The enemy is off balance. Do not give him time to think. Hausser exhales through his nose. On German maps, red grease pencil arrows multiply. They overlap. They contradict each other. By midday, the maps begin to look less like plans and more like wounds. Reports flood in. A panzer battalion ordered east finds Americans already west. A reserve division redeploys only to discover the road junction seized hours earlier. Fuel trucks vanish. Ammunition dumps are captured intact. Patton is not destroying German units. He is dislocating their minds. Late that afternoon, Hausser convenes his senior staff. The intercepted orders are spread across the table. Gentlemen, he says, voice flat, this American general is not fighting our army. He is fighting our ability to respond. No one disagrees. The room is quiet except for the distant thud of artillery closer now. One officer finally speaks. If he keeps this tempo, we cannot rebuild a line. Hausser looks at the map of France. then at the intercepts again. He knows what comes next. Encirclement, collapse, not tomorrow, not next week. Soon. And somewhere to the west, under a different sky, George S. Patton is already issuing his next order without waiting to see if the last one succeeded. Hausser folds the papers carefully. In that moment, he does not think about Normandy. He thinks about France itself. And for the first time since the landings, he understands something with chilling clarity. France is not being defended anymore. It is being outrun. The first German counter orders go out at 6:40 p.m. They are already obsolete. In a stone chateau outside Le Mans, General Paul Hausser stands over a map that no longer represents reality. The pins marking American units are being moved faster than the staff can record them. Every hour, a new report contradicts the last. Divisions expected to arrive by morning are already bypassed. Roads thought secure at dawn are lost by dusk. And then come the words Hausser dreads most. Enemy armor reported south. No correction, enemy armor west. Wait, new contact northeast. It is the same unit, moving faster than German command can track. Hausser grips the edge of the table. This is when the realization hardens. Patton is not exploiting success. He is manufacturing inevitability. Intercepted orders continue to pour in. Not summaries, not fragments, full operational directives spoken as if time itself were the enemy. If you meet resistance, fix it and pass through. If bridges are down, cross elsewhere. Do not wait for permission to continue the advance. German doctrine has no answer for this. Counterattack requires mass. Mass requires time. Time is exactly what Patton refuses to give. At 7th Army Headquarters, officers begin arguing over where to commit the last reserves. North to seal the gap toward Alençon, east to protect Paris, south to prevent a drive toward the Loire. Hausser listens, then stops them. There is no correct direction anymore, he says quietly. Whichever way we turn, he is already there. Outside, staff cars roar in and out of the courtyard. Motorcycles arrive splashed with mud. Each courier brings worse news. Entire German regiments are surrendering not after battles, but after being cut off, starved of fuel, surrounded without ever seeing the enemy's main force. One officer whispers, "This isn't a breakthrough, it's a flood." That night, Hausser reads Patton's intercepted operational philosophy in full, compiled by intelligence officers working without sleep. Patton demands continuous pressure. No pauses, no rest cycles. Commanders are encouraged to act on initiative rather than wait for orders. If fuel runs out, units are told to seize German supplies and keep moving. Hausser closes his eyes. This is what makes it unstoppable. German defenses are built on reaction, identify, respond, counter. But Patton's army moves too fast to be identified. By the time a threat is recognized, it has already shifted. This is not chaos. It is controlled acceleration. Shortly before midnight, Hausser dictates a message to Army Group B. He chooses his words carefully. The enemy under General Patton is advancing at a tempo exceeding all previous experience. Our forces are unable to establish coherent defensive lines. Continuous movement and deep penetrations are rendering command and control ineffective. He pauses, then adds a final sentence. If this tempo continues, the loss of all of France west of the Seine is inevitable. The room goes still. No one argues, no one suggests alternatives. They all know what that sentence means. At the same hour, Patton's headquarters is alive with motion. Maps are rolled, unrolled, scribbled over. Staff officers argue cheerfully. Radios crackle nonstop. Patton stands at the center of it all, helmet off, riding crop in hand. "Where are we now?" he snaps. 20 miles beyond where we thought we'd be, sir." Patton grins, not because it's impressive, but because it's insufficient. "Good," he says. "Now keep going." He does not ask where the Germans are. He assumes they are behind him. By dawn, American armor reaches positions German planners believed were days away. Bridges fall intact. Road junctions are seized before demolition orders can be carried out. French civilians watch in disbelief as columns thunder past dusty, relentless, unstoppable. Back at 7th Army Headquarters, Hausser stares at the map once more. The arrows no longer matter. The front no longer exists. For the first time, A German general understands something that cannot be fixed with reinforcements or resolve. This war in France is no longer about territory. It is about velocity, and Germany has already lost. But the final confirmation, the moment when theory becomes certainty, is still coming, and it will arrive not on a battlefield, but on paper. August 13, 1944, 11:30 a.m., near Argentan, France. The paper is thin, cheap, folded and unfolded so many times the creases have gone soft. General Heinrich Eberbach, commander of Panzer Group West, holds it with 2 fingers as if it might stain him. Dust clings to his boots. The air smells of fuel, sweat, and crushed wheat. Somewhere beyond the hedgerows, American artillery is walking methodically closer. This document should not exist in his hands. It is an intercepted, partially decoded copy of Patton's corps-level movement orders, passed up from intelligence with the warning, "Urgent immediate review." Eberbach reads it once, then again, slowly. The orders are not poetic, they are brutally simple, time blocks, axes of advance, instructions for what to do when contact is lost, not made. Maintain pressure even if flank security is incomplete. Bypass resistance below battalion strength. Night movement authorized and expected. If one column halts, another will pass through. Eberbach feels his jaw tighten. This is not how you encircle an army. This is how you erase one. Outside, an aide steps closer. "Herr General?" Eberbach lifts a hand. He needs silence. He studies the map pinned to the side of the command truck. His own formations, panzer divisions once feared across Europe, are bent, fragmented, partially blind. Fuel is rationed. Radio nets are unreliable. Units are operating on last known orders. And now this. Patton is not trying to crush them head on. He is letting them collapse inward, tightening the perimeter simply by moving faster than they can escape. The realization hits Eberbach with physical force. "They are not stopping at the Seine," he mutters. "They are not even stopping for us." An officer frowns. "Sir?" Eberbach taps the paper. "He has already written us out of the campaign." This is the difference. German commanders are planning where to fight next. Patton is planning where the Germans will no longer exist as a force. By early afternoon, reports confirm what the paper predicted. American units appear on roads Eberbach believed were still open. Supply columns are ambushed without warning. Rear area headquarters find themselves under direct fire. The Falaise pocket is forming not with a single decisive strike, but with constant, suffocating motion. Eberbach knows how this ends. He has seen it before on the Eastern Front. Once an army loses freedom of movement, it doesn't retreat. It dissolves. He folds the paper carefully and places it in his map case. Then he does something rare for a German general in 1944. He tells the truth. In a message to higher command, he writes, "The enemy's operational tempo makes coordinated withdrawal impossible. Their armored columns advance without pause, day and night, and appear unconcerned with exposed flanks. This method prevents us from stabilizing any line." He hesitates, then adds the sentence that seals it. "This is not a temporary breakthrough. This is a systemic collapse." By evening, American artillery closes in. Eberbach's command post displaces twice in 6 hours. Each move is shorter than the last. That night, under a sky lit by burning vehicles, Eberbach stands beside a road choked with retreating German units' horse carts, half-tracks, wounded men limping west. None of them know Patton's orders. They don't need to. They can feel them. Miles away, Patton studies a map under lamplight. He draws arrows forward, never backward. When a staff officer suggests consolidating gains, Patton cuts him off. "We'll consolidate when there's nothing left to consolidate against." By dawn, the pocket tightens further. The German army in Normandy is breaking apart, not from lack of courage, but from lack of time. Eberbach will be captured within days. France will fall not with a dramatic final battle, but with a continuous, grinding realization that there is nowhere left to stand. And all of it began with a piece of paper. An order written without hesitation. An order read by the enemy and understood too late. August 17, 1944, 4:05 a.m. near Chambois, France. Dawn has not yet arrived, but the battlefield is already awake. The air vibrates with sound engines straining, artillery cracking, wounded men shouting in the dark. Smoke drifts low across the fields, illuminated in flashes of orange and white. The roads leading east are jammed with German vehicles, nose to tail, many abandoned, some burning quietly where fuel ran out hours ago. General Heinrich Eberbach stands on the edge of the road, helmet in hand. He is no longer trying to win. He is trying to escape. American artillery pounds the bottleneck relentlessly. Each shell lands with clinical precision. Not random, not wasteful. Designed to freeze movement, not annihilate it, forcing vehicles to halt, men to dismount, columns to knot tighter and tighter. Patton's doctrine in action. Movement denied. Time gone. A staff officer runs up, breathless. "Sir, the gap Chambois is closing." Eberbach already knows. Polish armored units under General Stanisław Maciek have punched in from the north. American forces push from the south. What remains of Army Group B is being compressed into a shrinking bowl of fire and confusion. This is not a single moment of defeat. It is a process. Every attempt to organize a breakout collapses under the same problem. American units are already repositioning while German orders are still being written. When one route opens, it closes again within hours. When a gap appears, it is sealed by a force that seems to materialize out of nowhere. Patton's army never sleeps. German officers shout themselves hoarse, trying to reroute traffic. Radios crackle uselessly. Batteries die. Maps are discarded. Men move on instinct alone. Eberbach watches a column of panzers grind to a halt out of fuel. Crews torch them without ceremony, years of training reduced to smoke in minutes. He turns away. By mid-morning, the pocket is effectively sealed. Sporadic fighting continues, savage and desperate, but the outcome is no longer in doubt. Tens of thousands of German soldiers are trapped. Equipment litters the countryside in grotesque abundance: guns, trucks, tanks, all abandoned in the mad rush to escape what could not be outrun. From a hilltop, an American forward observer watches the chaos below and keys his radio. "Targets moving east. Recommend immediate fire." The reply comes instantly. Cleared hot. This is the final form of Patton's war speed converted into paralysis. Far to the west, Patton receives the situation report. He scans it once, then looks up. "Good," he says. "Now don't let them breathe." Someone asks if the enemy might attempt a large breakout. Patton's reply is calm, almost bored. "They already tried," he says. "They just didn't know it." By evening, resistance collapses into surrender. White flags appear in clusters. Columns of German prisoners begin the long walk. West stunned, hollow-eyed, many still gripping weapons they no longer understand the purpose of. Eberbach is captured shortly thereafter. He offers no theatrics, no speeches, just a tired nod as his pistol is taken. Later, in captivity, he will speak candidly to his interrogators. "The moment we read Patton's orders," he admits, "we knew we could not stop him. We were fighting a man who did not allow the war to slow down." France is effectively lost that day, not with a declaration, not with a single dramatic surrender, but with the irreversible collapse of an army that can no longer move. Paris will be liberated within a week. The Seine will be crossed without the decisive stand German planners once envisioned. And Patton will already be looking east. But for the German generals who read those orders in August 1944, the truth arrived earlier. It arrived in the quiet horror of understanding. Understanding that this was not blitzkrieg. It was worse. It was relentless motion, and it could not be stopped.